evening. My name is Grant Goslin, Dean of Admission and Student Aid here at Wheaton College in Massachusetts. I want to congratulate all of our admitted students to Wheaton's class of 2022 and also welcome any parents that might be watching in and listening with us this evening. The clock is striking 7, which means we have started on time, and also shows you that technical difficulties sometimes do occur. But I want to welcome you. Well, this has been a great year in our admission process so far. We're still working on shaping the class of 2022 as we are working with our regular decision applicants. But we know that for many of you, this is a period in the process that is a little quieter than others. And we wanted to provide this opportunity for you as you continue to learn about Wheaton College. If you have questions, we encourage you to send them in to us. There are 3 ways you can do so. One is through the chat feature on the YouTube channel. The other is to use Twitter using the handle @WheatonADM, @WheatonADM, or also to email them to us at admission@wheatoncollege.edu. We hope that this evening's format will allow you to voice the questions that you have. We'll do our best to get to all of them. Any questions that we don't get to tonight, we certainly will follow back up with you via email. So without further ado, I'd like to give you the opportunity to meet our current students on the panel. We have 3 students that will start out the program with us. We'll then take a short break, and we'll then invite 3 different students to come forward for a second panel experience. So you'll get to meet 6 of our students tonight. And Riley, would you get us started? I'd like, if you wouldn't mind, maybe giving us a little bit about your background, where you're from, some of the things that you're doing here at Wheaton.
Yeah, of course. My name is Riley Heist. I am a senior this year at Wheaton College. I'm actually currently student teaching, so that makes me an education major, but I'm also doubling with English as well. Outside of student teaching, I instruct yoga to a few of the athletic teams on campus, and then I'm also the president of Education Club. I'm part of the precepting program, which is an advising program for first-year students, and then I'm also part of the May Fellows group on campus.
And where are you from, Riley?
Bar Harbor, Maine.
All right.
Yeah,
great.
sorry about that.
Hi, I'm Lyle. I'm from Wheaton, Massachusetts. I'm a junior here on campus. Some of the things that I'm doing is that I'm part of the rugby club, as well as outdoors club and outdoors house, and I'm an intern in the admissions office.
Hi, I'm Isabel. I'm a sophomore. I'm from Los Angeles, California. Currently, aside from admissions, I'm on the women's varsity tennis team. I'm on the intercultural board, and I'm a part of outdoors club as well.
Great. So we learned a little bit about you. Our students out there are about to make a really important decision. In about 90 days or so, they will have decided where they'll be spending the course of the next 4 years. So if you could rewind back to when you were making that decision, might you be able to share a little bit about some of the things that you were just thinking about and why ultimately Wheaton was your choice?
Yeah, of course. So it's definitely a stressful process, but that just kind of comes with the nature of figuring out what you want to do with the next following 4 years of your life. But for me, a big part of it was that Wheaton was very personable. Everybody I talked to when doing my visit, when doing my overnight, wanted to get to know me. I was more than just a number to Wheaton, and that was really important to me. I come from a very small high school. I don't know if you guys come from small schools or bigger schools, but I knew I wanted to continue that when going forth and looking for a college. I also really liked kind of the placement of Wheaton being outside of a major city. I knew that when going to talks or poetry nights or doing things on the weekends, I would be spending the time with the classmates that I would continue to be with going forth, instead of kind of going to other schools or going out to eat at other restaurants. And so it was really important to me, the close-knit community that was so strong at Wheaton and that I could feel when being on campus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, similarly. So Wheaton was the first school I'd actually ever visited, and I came on campus and immediately I felt a sense of belonging between all the people here on campus, whether it's the admissions staff like Grant or just the people around campus, the students, the faculty, and even the people that serve you your food in the dining hall. I kind of felt like a sense of belonging with the people here, and we're here not only to get our education, but to figure out what we want to do, what kind of people we are, and how to be good citizens of the world. And I think that was something that was really reinforced when I came to Wheaton, was just the amazing community that we do have here, and I think everyone can attest to that. And whether or not you've visited campus, if you've been here, hopefully you've felt it, but the rumors are true if you haven't, so definitely I think the community was the biggest part of my decision coming here.
Yeah, kind of going off what Riley said, I went to a very small high school as well, and I wanted to have that similar intimate experience with my classmates as well as my teachers. So I was hoping that when I came here, I'd still get to know my professors fairly well and be able to go to their office hours and have them being very receptive to me, getting extra help from them, and just checking in whenever I needed to. And I found that I'd be able to do that here, so that's one reason why Wheaton was very inviting to me. And I've found that the professors have really been helpful here, and they really want to get to know you, and they're extremely helpful in that sense, and that's what I really like in terms of my learning experience here.
Isabel, you came the farthest from California. We have
Yeah.
students from almost 40 states and 75 countries around the world, but what was it like for you making that, cross-country trek and that adjustment period as a first-year student?
It was definitely different. I have family from Boston, so I've grown up visiting here, but it's different living on campus and adjusting to a new college. But I found that the people I met here were extremely helpful with my transition, and they really wanted me to make me feel that Wheaton was my home, and they even offered up times for me to go to their homes and meet their families, and that's what I really liked about Wheaton. Like, the students here are very genuine, and when they get to know you, they really want to welcome you into not only their dorms, but also get to know their families. So I've met a lot of people, and I've gotten to know their families. So it's like I have extended family through my peers here. And I really appreciate that because I miss my family at home, so it's nice having a family here as well.
Great. So questions are starting to come in, so thank you for sending them. The first one, Susan is asking about whether, maybe Lyle, maybe you could summarize a typical classroom experience here. So, how big are the classes? Are they discussion-based or more lecture style? What should students expect coming to class at Wheaton?
Yeah, so Wheaton does have a very small class sizes. Our largest classes are capped at around 45 students, so that'll be kind of your average intro class. But I think usually what I experience when I go into the classroom is, now as a junior I'm in some higher level classes, so it's I have a class of actually 6 students now, and then up to usually 20, 25. And usually what will happen is that the professor will often lecture for a little bit, if that's the kind of class that it is, and then almost exclusively every class will have a discussion, which is really great. It's kind of hard to get talked up for an hour and 20 minutes, so the professors really do a great job of switching it up and making sure there's discussions. There's a lot of my classes, we spend the entire class discussing. In those lower level intro classes, there will be more time lecturing, but there's also usually around a quarter to a third of the class is spent discussing, which I think really involves all the students and really keeps it fresh. It's kind of hard to just sit there and watch someone for, however long the class is. So it's nice to get it kind of mixed in different ways. And the professors are very creative, thinking up of new ways every class to, get everyone involved. So.
Great. So the next question, Scott is asking about advising, and particularly what sort of resources are available to students that don't have a major in mind yet. So a lot of our students come in thinking that they want to study a particular major, but a lot of students don't know that yet. And so, you work as a preceptor, Riley, so maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I think Wheaton does a really good job of keeping your options open. And they kind of discourage you from declaring your major in your first year in order for you to keep your options open and explore other classes. A class that every freshman will take their fall semester is a first-year seminar. And so my interpretation of that is it's Wheaton's way of guiding students through college, figuring out how to use the printers and how to use library resources, while also teaching you about a subject that you might not have time to learn about otherwise. So as a freshman, I was in metal armor and spandex tights, and it was a study of Don Quixote, which is something I never would have taken otherwise, but it piqued my interest with the Spanish culture, and I actually ended up studying abroad in Spain through it. But the cool thing about these FYSs is that your professor will become your advisor until you declare your major. And so if you come in undecided, it's more than fine. Most students will come in undecided, and through that you create a relationship with this professor. Clearly my professor was in the Spanish department, and that's no longer where I am, but I still have her as a resource. And through the first year, I would meet with my preceptors, which are student advisors, but I would also meet with my professor who would help guide me along that course. So even though I wasn't decided when I came into the school, I still had that support system in place that helped me along the way.
One other thing that I think is really unique to Wheaton is that even students that have declared a major or noted a major on their admission application will actually come in undecided when they arrive on campus. And they then need to meet with their advisors to make sure they have those conversations that you've talked about. Yeah. Those students oftentimes just continue on with that major they intended, but it also makes sure that they're having thoughtful conversations about the choices they're about to make. So
Yeah.
whether you've declared or not, an advisor is going to be a big part of your process. So the next question is from Eliza, and she's asking about required courses in the first year and whether you can choose courses. Particularly, she's interested in which math courses you might take, if there's flexibility within that. Isabel, do you have any thoughts on first year courses?
It wasn't that long ago. I'm only a sophomore.
Yeah.
So aside from the first year seminar class, you do have to take an intro English class, which you have multiple choices for that. And then the other requirements include, in terms of just like your general education requirements, you have to have a quantitative analysis, which would be like a math class. And personally, for me, I'm not a huge math person, so there are a lot of flexible options within fulfilling that requirement. So currently, I'm in a class called Analyzing Social Trends, which will fulfill that requirement, but it's for the social sciences. So since I'm a sociology major, I'm able to get a credit within my major as well as fulfill that requirement. And the other classes include Beyond the West, which is a class that teaches you about cultures beyond Western cultures. Am I forgetting any
Language.
others? And a language. So I took French last semester. Actually, for the full year, you have to have a full year of languages.
Right. So a little bit of flexibility, generally prescribed in that first year, and then after that it becomes pretty open-ended.
Yeah.
So one of the unique parts of our curriculum is our sophomore curriculum, the Connections curriculum. Would one of you want to explain that? Lyle, would you maybe?
Yeah, for sure. So the Connections curriculum is basically Wheaton's way of forcing you to kind of think outside of the box and to connect two different courses or three different courses that are within different disciplines. So basically what this means is every student is required to take two-way connections, so two separate connections between two different courses, or one three-way connection between three courses. And there's a bunch of different courses that can connect that are already proposed by the faculty. So for instance, my first semester freshman year, I took a class called Intro to Cultural Anthropology. And then the next semester, I took a class called World Music, Africa and Americas. And basically, these two courses are connected through the mode of study, through the anthropologists use, and ethnomusicologists, which is ethnography. So that's the common strain between them, and they're from two different disciplines. And basically, it was really good for me because I got to take a music course and kind of broaden my horizons and learn about an entire mode of study of music that I don't think a lot of people have heard of. And it's just a really cool way to get outside the box. And then a really great thing about the Connections curriculum is that if you're a student and you've taken one class and then you're enrolled in another class and you have a little light bulb and you say, hey, wow, that really connects back to that course I took last semester, last year, you can actually self-initiate a connection. And basically just write a short paper about why these two courses connect, and you present it to the registrar's office and they'll accept it as a connection. And then the great thing about that is it'll then be a connection for all the students who come after you that may want to take those two courses. And Wheaton has done a really good job of fostering this. I believe we're the first college to implement this kind of program, and it's just a really great way to get people thinking outside the box and kind of doing things that they wouldn't really normally do in their college curriculum.
Great. Thank you. So there's a question that has been posed through the YouTube channel on how can students combine internships with academics? Do you have any experience with that? Applied learning and academics?
I don't know how much this correlates directly, but I did an internship while I was in Spain studying abroad, and it was in the classroom, and so I was in a 5th and 6th grade classroom in Valencia, Spain, tutoring students for English language learners. And it was very neat to have that experience and then come back to college my senior year, and through my education seminar being able to pull on that in order to complete my assignments. And it was a little outside of the regular curriculum that my professor had set forth for us, but because it was real life experience, he welcomed it. And so through my different assignments, I would talk about that. And then I know another one, and this is again directly associated with education, but there are some classes on campus where you are asked as part of the curriculum to spend time in a local school tutoring. And so I believe it was teaching and learning, which is an education class that is open to all students, and you have to spend 2 hours a week, 1 to 2 hours a week in a school, and so I spent it in Head Start down the road. And I know that's true for the education department. I assume there's similar experiences in sociology. Is that true?
I haven't had any in sociology. I know that some majors and minors do require that you do an internship, so that's obviously intertwined with your major and minor. I know environmental science does have that requirement. But another thing that Wheaton has recently implemented is something called Semester in the City, which is a really great program that they've actually introduced. I think this is the first full year that we've been doing it. And basically what it is you get to go into, I think Boston is the only city we have right now, if I'm not mistaken, and basically have a four credit curriculum in Boston while you're doing an internship there. So you basically will have a full-time job. It's kind of like an alternative sort of study abroad idea, and it allows students to get into a city and get that internship that they so need during the school year, and it leaves more options open for the summer, which has been kind of a really cool thing that has just been introduced.
And Wheaton received a sizable grant that is allowing us to explore with these other, we're calling them semester away programs. Did you hear about the ethnomusicology course, given your interest in that area?
Not actually, no.
It's in Hawaii.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Wow.
next
should hear
year.
about that.
I should hear about that.
Certainly
That's very
incredible opportunities for students to travel and
Wow.
be able to apply what they're learning. So
That's awesome.
come to Wheaton, you'll have these incredible opportunities. Another question was about residential life, and a student wants to know how many upperclassmen live off campus, and is housing guaranteed here?
It's what, 98% of students live on campus all 4 years, so the majority of students do. All of my friends live on campus. Housing is guaranteed for all students, and it again contributes to that sense of community. At the same time, I do have a few friends who commute just because they live close by and they are also able to still be part of that community. But you guys have positive experiences with dorm life, right?
Yeah, so I had a great experience my freshman year. I was in one of the predominantly freshman dorms called Meadows down on lower campus. Coming in as a freshman, you'll either be in a double or a triple, and the RAs are really great, the resident advisors. They're sophomores, juniors, seniors who are there basically to help guide you through basically anything you want. They're really open to helping you with whatever. Obviously, they're directly in charge of you as a resident, just making sure everything's going smoothly. But they're really kind of like an upperclassman that you can look to, because it's hard to get to know people that are older, and it's nice to have that person. And then going on, as you get older, there are more options open. I'm part of the Theme House program. I live in Outdoors House. And quick overview of theme houses, they're basically, I think we have 17 on campus, and they're all centered around a certain theme. Our theme is outdoors education. There's a feminist perspective house, art house, an eco-conscious living house, and just a bunch of different themes. And basically, each theme house is responsible for putting on events every semester that include not only the Wheaton community, but the surrounding Norton community, and even further on as well. And it's a great space for like-minded people to come together, supporting one thing they like to do or one issue they're very passionate about, and just a great opportunity to get more involved with the Wheaton campus. And then there are other opportunities for living, if you want to go there. Like dorms, something.
Putting you on the
yeah.
spot.
Yeah, well, there's, you can just live in the residential dorms. So I live on upper campus. I'm in a double with my roommate, who I actually found on the Wheaton admitted students page online, which is kind of unique because usually people will do a random housing survey. So when you're admitted, you'll sign up and list all your preferences for what you like in your room, and that's usually how you're matched up with someone randomly. However, I found a girl on the Facebook page who we kind of just clicked online, and we decided to put each other in the blank space. It says if you have any preferences for an individual. So luckily that worked out, and we were roommates last year, and we still are today. So there's some experiences you can have by just meeting people either online, or there are opportunities to meet students before you decide to go to Wheaton. They'll have different preview days, and there'll be overnights in that on those days. And if you meet someone there, that could be a potential roommate as well. So,
Isabel, you're checking off all the boxes on my list that I'm supposed
I'm
to plug
glad.
here. So just to let you all know, you should be receiving tomorrow or the next day an invitation to join the Class of 2022 Facebook group. So thank you for teeing that up. And you also should have received invitations for the overnight program later this month. So if you haven't registered for that, it's filling up quickly. So we will soon move to a wait list, and can always entertain individual overnights should that overnight fill to capacity. So thank you for doing half of my job for me. Jeremiah has 2 questions. One of them is, I think, easier to answer, and the other is going to make you think. So the easy one first. Are there activities at Wheaton to showcase different cultural backgrounds? And the one that's going to make you think a little bit more, how has your perspective changed since attending Wheaton?
Well, I can attest to the first question. I'm a part of the intercultural board on campus, and so our job is to really promote diversity and cultural inclusion, as well as linking different affinity groups on campus. So, for example, if there's ever a meeting with Black Student Association and there's another night where there's the LSA, the Latino Students Association meeting, we would have like a joint meeting, or we try to encourage people to go to either group's meetings and try to make sure that there is more cohesion between the two. And we also really try to promote community discussions and make sure that everyone knows that we're a resource on campus and that these other affinity groups are there. So I think that there's definitely an option to get on campus and become really involved with those different groups, depending on how you identify yourself culturally, or if you just want to get to know other cultures aside from your own and get to know students within those groups. And there's a lot of different activities they'll have either on the weekends or their weekly night meetings where you can just go and have open discussions, different movie nights. So that's something I got involved in last year as well as this year, and it's been a really helpful resource for me just to meet other students like me or that are curious about the life that I lead.
All right, so now, but you 2 had more time to think about this. So
I was listening to
I
her.
jumped for the easy one.
how's your perspective on change since being at Wheaton? That could be a perspective in any number of ways, so I'll let you identify that.
Yeah, I think that because of all the people that I've met here, I think that I've really kind of broadened my worldview. I come from a small town in Massachusetts, predominantly, people that look like me, so it's been really great to kind of just meet new people and really see where people come from, because Wheaton really is a community of people that come from all different backgrounds, all different countries. And just meeting people that aren't like you is something that is really valuable, and I think it betters you as a person. So I think just the people on campus have really allowed me to kind of broaden my horizons and just, think in ways that I never really thought in before.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's just widening your perspective, which is what education is all about, and learning, that education really is power, and by listening to other people's stories and hearing where they're from and their backgrounds, I think it really helps me grow as a person hearing that. One instance was earlier this year, as a preceptor, we take our freshmen to President Hanna's house for dinner, and he did a really fun activity this year. He switched it up from what he's been doing in the past, and what the activity was, part of it was that he had us line up in the room, and we were supposed to line up from closest to Wheaton to farthest away from Wheaton. And then we also did it again with the size of high school, from smallest to largest, and it was really powerful, and it gave me goosebumps when we went around the room. And it started from students from Norton, and then went to Foxborough and Brockton, and then it got to students very international. The last 10 students were all from other countries. The last student, I think, was from Zimbabwe, and it was just very cool to all be in the same room, to all be doing the same thing. We were all eating pizza together, yet we, we're so different. And it was cool to be able to see both sides of it, and I think that that's something that Wheaton does really well, is it shows you both sides. So it really accentuates the differences that we have, but it also gives us the bridges to gap those differences and come together and be one and be a community here on campus.
I'm not going to let you off the hook. Have you been thinking?
Yeah, I would go off of both of what you guys have said. I think that this campus does allow you to meet people from all walks of whether it's nearby or far away, and I think just being able to, I think the small classrooms really help, because you're able to have discussions, and that's where you get to learn the most about people, because you're learning about what they think and hearing their opinions openly in a classroom where you know that it's a safe setting. So I think I've learned the most about people just being in classrooms especially, and I would attest to the fact that we do have a pretty diverse campus being such a small school, and it's been great getting to know people from all over.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, we have time for maybe one more question, and actually 2 different students have asked it, so let me actually find it on my list here. Christian, thank you for your question, and Rachel, thank you. Both interested in study abroad options. So what are some various options? Are they all semester-long programs? And are there any limitations on major? So can any major study abroad?
Yeah, so I think, and I'm sure you guys know this too, because there's a lot of education on campus about studying abroad, so even though you haven't done it yet, Wheaton makes it very known. And I think that the easy answer is the options are limitless. Any major can do it. You do have to work with the professors depending on the major. Being a double major, it takes a little more planning, but any major can do it. The options as to where you go are limitless. Wheaton does have a group of programs that we work with in different countries, but if you find a program that we are not affiliated with, you can get it approved. And then the other big thing too is you can go for any amount of time. You can go for a 2-week program over a winter break. I went to Trinidad and Tobago my freshman year, which counted as my Beyond the West credit actually. So you can do one of those shorter trips, or you can do a semester-long program like I did. You can do a year-long program. You can do a summer program if you're an athlete and you're worried about missing school. So I think, again, it's just, you can do whatever you want. I know, Isabel, you're planning on going to Copenhagen?
Yeah, I'm
right?
looking to go to Copenhagen next fall.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking to apply still, but that's definitely what I'm planning on. So.
Yeah, it's a big thing on campus. A lot of students do take advantage of it, and professors do want you to do it too, and they know that a lot of learning comes from being in another country.
You want to tell them about the course in Trinidad?
Yes, yes. It was a while ago, but so it was presented to me through one of my professors, and what it is, it's steel drumming, which I'm not musical at all, but I still jumped at the opportunity because partly it was Trinidad and Tobago, which sounded amazing, and then the other part of it is this music aspect. And as I said earlier about bridging the gap between two different cultures, it's something that has always intrigued me, whether it be in the classroom when I've been teaching or as a student. And the idea of going to another culture, such as Trinidad and Tobago, and using an instrument such as the steel drums to bridge that gap was really intriguing. And so again, I jumped at that opportunity. I started going to the group on campus, which is the Lyman Lions, and they're the steel drumming group. So I practiced a few times with them. There was, I think, about 12 to 14 of us who actually went over, none who I knew very well prior to going, but I got to know very well when living in close quarters and stomach bugs and all that good stuff that comes when you're traveling. But it was an amazing experience, and I got to know a professor very well. I got to know students that I didn't know at all beforehand. And then it also covered a Beyond the West credit. It gave me another credit to work towards graduation, so it was a really beneficial program. I got it covered through the funding that Wheaton has available, so that was amazing. And then it was over winter break, which at Wheaton we have a long one, so it's nice to take advantage of internships or studying abroad or doing those types of things over the 4-week winter break.
Great. Thank you. And it's not unusual at all that first-year students can have the opportunity to do a program like that. So Isabel, Lyle, and Riley, thank you so much for sharing your perspectives with our admitted students and their parents. We're going to take a short break and invite 3 more students to come forward for you to get to know. I want to remind you that if you do have questions that you would like answered this evening, feel free to add them within the chat feature in the YouTube channel. Use Twitter @WheatonADM or via email admission@wheatoncollege.edu. While we break, we'll show you this short video, and we'll be back again soon.
Every student who comes here has amazing potential, amazing possibility, and what we are focused on is providing that individual experience that students really need to grow and to develop the way they want to. So for me, when I think about our goal of igniting a spark of possibility, it's working with each student and helping them to figure out what it's going to take for them to be a success in their career and to lead the life that they're interested in leading.
I think what's so special about Wheaton is that the faculty to student ratio is so small that every class that I've been to, all the teachers know my name. They're very open and engaging and very friendly, and they want to see you succeed, which is something I haven't heard about in other universities.
I think the best part of Wheaton is getting to work individually with students. And these students that I worked with did some great things. They finished the transcription of an account book that we've been working on for a long time.
Wheaton is just full of resources. I'm interested in the Middle East, so I asked my professor if I could just do my own sort of independent study. You have professors willing to to work with you. You have a good support group at the Filing Center, and also all these clubs and organizations just give possibility for leadership.
In student government, I was able to take some of the more abstract concepts that I was learning about in the classroom and apply it to real, everyday application. Ultimately, the business of people is something that I was able to cultivate real lessons on at Wheaton, and hope to continue to do that in one way or another for the rest of my life.
My students in my research laboratory work seniors mentoring, juniors mentoring, sophomores mentoring first-year students. I get to enjoy collaborations with all those students. That ignites a spark in them as they discover their own ideas, as they test their own hypotheses and do their own experiments, create their own knowledge. I have thoughts that no human has ever thought before because no one's ever made the discoveries that these students are making.
Everyone is very different and has their own idiosyncratic interests and personality, but the one type of student I think Wheaton is motivated, driven, someone who wants to make a change or make a difference. People who are passionate about what they do and are willing to go about it in however they can.
The most important thing I've learned with art, if you have an idea, it's always possible to do it. You just need to find the right technique to do so. And that's something that helps me in physics, because when I'm working on a problem, I might not see the way, but I know that if I just keep looking through different techniques that I know, I'll eventually be able to fit it in.
Doing this independent study, initially I had the fear of, I want to do fashion, but I'm sort of afraid that I chose the wrong place. But there's been so much encouragement, there's never a limit to what I'm doing. I feel like the only limit is basically what I bring to the table, or my imagination.
You never really leave Wheaton entirely. You know, you're always going to be connected. You're going to always have this experience of continuing to learn from the people that are there and who are there now, but who have been there. And I think that's very powerful, this interconnectedness and this knitting together of all of the stories that we all have.
The defining characteristic of Wheaton College is the fact that students come from all of these different places around the world, from all over the U.S., with all different kinds of backgrounds, with all different kinds of experiences, and it just creates this amazingly dynamic and exciting environment. There is something happening here every minute, and it's something new, it's something exciting, and I see that excitement in the eyes of our students, and that's what gets me excited every day.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about Wheaton through that short video. Again, if you're just joining us, my name is Grant Gosselin, Dean of Admission and Student Aid here at Wheaton College. Congratulations on your acceptance to Wheaton. We have 3 more students here on our panel this evening for you to get to know, who are eager to share their Wheaton experiences with you. So without further ado, let's meet our panel here. Karen, would you get us started?
So hi, I'm Karen. I'm from Cumberland, Rhode Island. I'm a computer science major and a mathematics minor, and on campus I'm part of our varsity women's field hockey team. I'm a member of our Women in STEM group, and I'm also part of our BOC group, which is the Boosting Alcohol Consciousness on Campus group.
Hi, I'm Fernando. I'm from Venezuela in South America, so I'm an international student here at Wheaton. I'm a business major, economics minor. I am an admissions intern here, and then I also played soccer on the varsity team my sophomore and junior years.
My name is Maya Hay. I'm a double major in political science and studio art with an intended minor in environmental studies. I'm from West Bridgewater, Massachusetts. I'm a vice president of the class of 2020. I also sing in the gospel R&B group on campus, which is a band and a cappella group. And I also play in the women's rugby team.
Great. So I will start out with an easy question like I asked the first group. And as these students are about to make a big decision, they're thinking about a lot of different things and trying to determine which would be the right fit for them. So if you could think back to when you were making this decision, what are some of the factors that you considered, and how did you ultimately choose Wheaton?
So I live within 25 minutes of campus, and I know you can relate to that too, Maya. So I never really considered coming to a school so close to home at first, but Wheaton was actually one of the first schools that I visited in my sophomore year of high school. Came to campus and fell in love. There was no turning back once I came here. Every school I visited after Wheaton was just being compared to Wheaton, and it's definitely that sense of community. I was fortunate enough to meet one of the computer science professors on my first visit here to campus, and he definitely was one of the big features of having me come here to Wheaton. He really made me feel welcomed and made me feel like I was a college student before I was even a college student.
Great. Fernando, you came a long way.
Yeah, so for me, honestly, when I applied to Wheaton, I had no idea what a liberal arts education was. I had no idea about anything about Wheaton. I just knew it was a good business program. It was small. I wanted a small school. So I applied to a couple universities and colleges around the area. Pretty similar. I've never been to Boston or the New England area before. So when I came here for the first time during the summer, I came to campus, and it's going to sound cliche, but it felt right for me. I just loved it here. Even though there wasn't a lot of people on campus, it was just, I don't know, the environment. I just loved everything. So, and as Karen said, I just found myself comparing Wheaton to every single school I went afterwards. So I don't know, it made sense to me to come to Wheaton.
So I do, like Karen, I also live really close. My parents got here once in 13 minutes, and it almost gave me a mini heart attack. But I had all my track meets here in high school, so Wheaton never really registered to me as a college. And then when I was applying to schools, my advisors and my parents said, oh, like, why don't you apply and see? And so it was different for me going from just seeing the track field house to actually walking on campus. And it had to be, for me, the community here. Walking on campus, people greet you. I didn't even go here, and people would say hi and ask me how you're doing. And also the faculty here. I mean, we have the faculty to student ratio is 1 to 10, and it's just they want to get to know you. They want to know what's going on in your lives, and they also want to support you. They'll come, like my advisor for freshman year, who isn't my advisor anymore since I declared, actually still comes to my jams, and we get coffee all the time. So really the faculty and the community here.
Great. Well, thanks. So Olivia has a question about the arts culture at Wheaton. So Maya, maybe you want to tackle it.
Yeah, I mean, so Wheaton has an amazing art program and great courses. So the studio art department usually has around, when you do become a declared major, around 20 students in it declared. And then your courses are usually ranging in the intro courses, which you have to take 3 prerequisites, I guess, which are drawing 1, spatial dynamics, and 2-dimensional design. But after that, your classes, all of my classes this semester have about 8 students in them, which is really great because you really get to know your professors, and it also leads to opportunities with your studio professors. I was able to, this past summer, do research with one of my studio art professors on writing a novel and illustrating it, so that was really great. We also have different clubs on campus related to the arts. We have the Student Art League, which focuses on bringing different speakers to campus, along with throwing events that are around the arts. I don't know if any of you, there's the Princess Diaries movie, but where they throw the darts at the balloons. We do that. It's really fun. We throw a lot of events, and there's just a lot to get involved with.
Great. So the next question is from Viren. Viren, I think you're the one I met in Mumbai a couple weeks ago, so I hope you're doing well, and it's quite early there, so thank you for joining us. And he's asking, as an international student, what should he bring to campus for the first day? So Fernando, maybe you can tackle this.
Yeah, definitely warm clothes for the winter. I mean, when you get here in the fall, it's going to be pretty warm. It's going to be in the 80s, 70s, 80s. But then once it gets closer to Christmas time, winter break, and then after winter break, it's awful. It's just too cold. I mean, it goes there are some days that it doesn't go above 30 degrees. So it's definitely warm clothes. I mean, if you want to bring stuff for your dorm, I'll just advise go to Target here, or go to any other any other store here. You can buy a lot of stuff. But I mean, yeah, just bring a lot of warm stuff, warm clothes, and just embrace the winter.
And if you're going to buy a winter jacket, buy it here, because they're designed for this weather here differently than they'll be in warmer climates. So, but in terms of other packing or shipping, are there things that you need to do much ahead of time, or?
I mean, I honestly didn't do much.
Yeah.
I just came here with basically all my closet, and then I just got everything for my room here. So I got a couple of boxes to store some things. I got actually that's it. Everything else I'm gotten from people who already left. So all my friends were seniors when I was freshman. They left me a TV. They left me a micro fridge. They left me a it's just a bunch of things a table. It's just again, it goes back to the Wheaton community. People, you get close to people, and if they don't need stuff, they're gonna give it to you. Just like friends, I guess. So yeah, I mean, as an international student, it definitely bring, I said before, warm clothes, but that's it. I mean, nothing too like major, anything other than that.
And Fernando's graduating, so get to know him because he'll leave you all this stuff. So. All right, so the next question, Katie, thank you for your question. It's about orientation and activities for first-year students to get to know each other. So, Karen, do you want to tackle that?
Sure, this is perfect because this past summer I was a core leader, and core is split into two parts for first-year orientation. One is over the summer in June, and then the second portion is a few days before campus, when you arrive to campus in August. So in June is really when a lot of the orientation and a lot of the course registration happens. It's there that you select your courses for your first semester, and you get to interact with a lot of your classmates coming in the fall. You're really grouped into small groups of about 10 or 12 students, so you really make those good connections between everybody. And aside from just the course registration and learning about the academics, we have different events going on during the evening and in the morning the next day. There's movies showing, tie-dyeing sessions, dance parties, anything you can think of just to have fun and learn a little bit about Wheaton, both in the classroom and outside of the classroom before you even come here as a student.
And for those students that live far from campus and can't get here in June for the two-day program, we do have online sessions or over Skype or phone with your advisor to help register for those classes. So don't feel as though you're going to miss out if you can't make it to campus for those 2 days in June. So the next question, I think, Maya, might be for you, if you wouldn't mind handling it. Kaylin is asking about the Mayfellows Scholars Program. What is Mayfellows, and what sort of experience should she expect? Yeah.
Right. So this is a great question. I'm on the Mayfellows Advisory Board, so we actually meet before the semester starts and plan all the events that Mayfellows host. But Mayfellows is an organization. Wheaton doesn't have an honors system, so Mayfellows is sort of in place of that in a way. It focuses on hosting events that are really focused on academics and how Wheaton can further your academic career for students who are interested in that. Usually students are asked before, when they apply to Wheaton, are asked once they get their accepted student's letter. I remember mine and I was super excited. But you can also, when you come to campus, apply. You can apply your freshman or sophomore year to the Mayfellows program, which is really great for students who aren't asked initially but really are engaged and involved on campus. We host a bunch of different events. Some are dens, we have lectures. We're hosting a virtual reality night. I don't know if anyone's experienced that before, but I'm super excited. But a bunch of different opportunities along with research. We have, starting 2 years ago now, we started a Mayfellows Colloquium, which is a research opportunity for first-year students up. And you get a full credit, and you get to come to campus early, and you work one-on-one with faculty on research around a topic. So the first year was climate change, and this past year was what is truth? So they really get to work one-on-one with faculty that you usually sometimes wouldn't meet depending on your major, what you're interested in. And also, Mayfellows you can apply to live, and you get first choice to live in Beard on campus, which is the newest residence hall, which I won't be able to say for much longer because they're building a new one. But it is the newest dorm building on campus, along with Gebby and Keith, which are their suites. And they get first priority, which is nice to have as well.
Great. Fernando, Jan is asking about soccer and if there are opportunities to walk on the varsity team, or if you don't make the varsity team, are there other ways that you can play soccer?
Yeah, no, of course. Actually, I'm a walk-on. I mean, being from far away, my coach couldn't go see me play or anything, so I wasn't a recruiter or anything like that. And I came here as a freshman, and then the first week I went to his office, and I was like, hey, can I try out? Like, I like to play soccer. I've been doing it basically my entire life. Can I do it? I was like, sure. I mean, the season already started, but you can come here, just practice a couple of days with us, and then that's it. I mean, you play with them, you play with the team, and then based on the coach's decision, you make the team, or they're going to invite you for a spring season that we have. That's going to be around 10, 15 practices, which is going to be the same with the team, with the coaches. And yeah, so at first I didn't make it. So I didn't make it for the first fall season. So what I did is, instead of staying in my room, I just went for the club soccer. So there's a club soccer, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, my freshman year was a lot of like international students who like to play soccer, and they basically became my best friends on campus. We'll play soccer, then go to the dining hall and eat, and then just hang out. So it was really fun. And then the spring season came. I practiced with the team and actually made a team. So I played with the team the next fall and the fall after that one. So I mean, definitely, if you are a recruit or the coach doesn't really know who you are because I don't know, he already did all the recruiting, you can definitely come here and just try out for the team. It's all like on you. You have to go to the coach's office and then that's it. I mean, it's really easier than I thought, to be honest.
Great. And one more athletics question, and Karen, this is asked of you from Kaylin. About your experience playing field hockey and what it's like to balance playing a sport with academics.
So I played field hockey all throughout high school, so transitioning to college was definitely a big transition, but I was used to that being in season versus out of season lifestyle. In season, you're at practice for 2, 3, 4 hours a day, every day of the week with 1 or 2 days of competition, and personally I find that I have a more intense schedule, so it gives me more time to schedule. I have this amount of time to do homework, this amount of time to relax and just hang out, whereas out of season I have more time to just do whatever. So it's definitely a balance that you need to find what works for you within the first few weeks of the semester and of your season, but it's definitely doable, and it's definitely something I love to do and something that all of my teammates love to do.
Great. So the next question, I am surprised it has taken this long for it to come up. So it's about the dining halls. This specifically, how late are the dining halls open? And maybe you could also talk about just some of the dining options on campus. Do you want to tackle that?
I'll do it.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
Yeah, I mean.
So on campus we have one dining hall that's all you can eat, so you can go there as many times as you want during the day, and it's open from I think 7 or 8 a.m. until all the way till 11 p.m. It's going to be open all times, so you can go anytime. And then we also have like different options, so more like cafe style dining halls, I guess. So we have Balfour, we have the Science Center, and then we have Emerson. These ones work a little bit differently. So when you go to Chase as the main dining hall, you have swipes. So you go there, swipe, that's it. So as a freshman, you're gonna have unlimited swipes, so you can go as many times as you want. And then if you want to go to the cafes, it's gonna be mostly what we call lounge spots. So it's basically U.S. dollars, like cash, or it's all gonna be on your ID, but it's money that you use on the dining halls to get sandwiches, burgers, if you want a snack, some cookies, anything you want. So as a freshman, you're going to be placed on a meal plan. It's going to be unlimited for Chase, the all-you-can-eat dining hall, and then 50 lounge box. And then as you move up, sophomore, junior, senior, you actually get to choose between the unlimited one, a second meal plan that's going to be around 15 swipes a week, and then I think 350 lounge box, and then the third meal plan is going to be 550 lounge box, and then about like 10 swipes a week for Chase. It's pretty neat. A lot of different options. I'm on the third one because I live on upper campus, so for me it makes sense. I'm closer to the cafes and I'm closer than Chase. So I mean, yeah. I don't know if you guys want to add anything to that or.
You hit all the boxes
Yeah,
there.
pretty thorough. That was
It
good.
was good.
Thank you.
Like,
So Eve has a question about co-ed bathrooms at Wheaton. So it's one of the more unique things about Wheaton, and wondering if you might be able to talk about it. And as a student, what's the experience? Oftentimes we have parents that are really worried about it.
Yeah,
so,
I love that question.
Talk about it from your perspective.
So I found it weird for about the first week or two. I was worried that I would be in the bathroom with my entire floor at the same time, and everybody would be washing their hands or everybody would be showering. But in reality, not, and nobody, maybe 1 or 2 other people will be in the bathroom at the same time as you. So after about the first week or 2 of my first semester, I got used to it, and it almost became normal, seeing a guy in the bathroom or seeing 3 other girls in the bathroom. But there is options where if you feel uncomfortable with that co-ed bathroom or co-ed living situation, if you request single gender housing, you will be guaranteed single gender housing for that semester, for that school year.
Great, thank you. Let's see. Trying to find on my list here. I've covered a lot of them. Oh, question about safety. So specifically crime on and off campus, or really just how safe you feel the campus might be. Maya, you want to take that?
Yeah. So Wheaton College has public safety, obviously, but they're available 24/7. So there's two separate lines. There's the emergency line and then their regular line that you can call. And their public safety is honestly really amazing on campus. I have a car on campus, and sometimes I get here really late, and I don't want to walk from the parking lot by myself. And you can actually call public safety, and they'll walk with you. So they're always really great. We also have a saying here, safety always matters most. And that means that no matter what situation you're in or what's going on, safety is most important. So you don't have to worry about getting in trouble. You don't have to worry about the situation you're in, because we want to make sure that the students are what comes first, that your safety is what comes first. And I think that's really great to have here on Wheaton, like on campus, because I know that lots of other schools don't have that, and I think it's what makes Wheaton really great. And also we have bike cops now, which I think is really cool.
And if you haven't been to campus yet, what you learn about Wheaton is that it's located in a small town known as Norton, which has been ranked one of the 20 safest cities in the United States, and also has easy access to Boston and Providence. But I think our students feel that, or find that it's a pretty quiet town with access to two major cities. Another question has come in about theme houses. We talked about them in the last half an hour, but specifically, how does a student apply to a theme house, and how do you create a theme house?
I can also answer that question. So applications go out every semester, actually, for theme houses if they have any rooms available. For next year, actually, emails have already gone out from theme houses for students who are interested. They're always looking for students. They post it on their Instagram, email, Facebook pages, all over. And even if you haven't seen an email but are interested, you can go and talk to the house presidents. If you're interested in starting a theme house, you can apply. So you have to have a number of students who are interested, preferably from a variety of different class years. But really, it's all about one theme. Last year, a new theme house was just created, Chill House, which is all around mental awareness. And they actually got it approved, and it was another house that was added. So it's really easy to really, if you have something that you're interested in and you want to have a theme house, you can apply, and then it happens.
Right. Great. So Christian's asking a question that I can answer, and it was simply around if it's possible to view course descriptions online. There is a course finder on the Wheaton website, wheatoncollege.edu, and if you click under the majors and minors section, you can easily find the course finder right there. So it's a really good way to get a sense of the depth and breadth of the courses that are offered here. So thank you for that question. And I think we have time maybe for one more question. This is just a question about what's the vibe on campus on the weekends. So you're in class all week, all sorts of lectures, activities throughout the week. What do you do on the weekends?
So I know personally, I always set aside one day for complete homework. I usually lock myself in the library for the entire day and just do everything.
Whoa.
And then the other day is more, for me at least, for more relaxation, or in field hockey season, that'll be my day of competition. But at night is when campus sort of comes alive. There's events of all sorts going on for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday sometimes. But there's anything you could think of going on. My group that I'm in, Bach, we put on a weekly movie screening. So this past weekend we had a Tarantino double feature. In a few weeks we have Disney Pixar's Coco coming up. But aside from that, there's different arts and crafts, different dances, or just comedy groups, bands, anything you can think of. There's something to go to.
Yeah, no, definitely. And in my experience, I'm a big sports fan. So I try to go to as many games as I can. So last semester, I went to a bunch of soccer games, men's and women's. I went to volleyball, field hockey. And then this semester, I'm trying to go to lacrosse, men's and women's. I'm trying to go to basketball, men's and women's. Never into a tennis match. I'm gonna try to do that Yeah, I mean, I've never been actually there, but so there are going to be games mostly every Wednesday and Saturdays at home. So I try to go to all of those. I set aside just a couple hours just to watch games. A lot of people stay on campus, but some definitely go to Providence, go to Boston. As Glenn said, it's really easy to get out of campus. And sometimes you just have to do homework. You just have a lot of homework. It's midterms week, so you have to study a lot. But yeah, I mean, there's always something going on. There's always like the arts, music, sports. There's always something going on. So definitely, it's like you're not gonna get bored here at all.
Yeah, last year there were over actually 300 events on campus, so there's a ton of stuff to go to. You will never be bored. Also, there are food trucks like almost every month, which are fabulous. But my roommate and I actually started something this semester where we're gonna go somewhere different every weekend, just to sort of like use, because we have all this transportation to go to Mansfield Crossing and get on the commuter rail or go to Providence, and these places are so close, and we want to really get out there and like try like something new. So I think we're going to like Providence this weekend, and then P-Town in 2 weekends. So there's always stuff to do.
Good for you. You got to get out and explore the
Yeah,
surrounding area. There's a lot to see.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for your questions this evening. We realize that there may still be some additional questions in the queue, and we'll do our best to answer those via email or through the chat feature. And we encourage you, as I mentioned in the last half hour, to join the Wheaton Class of 2022 Facebook group. It is important when you register that you use your email address on your application so we know who you are. You can also email us if your name has not been approved, just to make sure that we know who you are. Parents, there is a Facebook group for you as well, the Wheaton College Facebook group, and so I encourage you to think about joining that as well, and really gives you the opportunity to engage with some current parents here also. Our overnights are coming up soon. Don't forget to register or register for an individual overnight, and mark your calendars for Friday, April 13th, which is Welcome to Wheaton Day, our admitted student program for the entire class of 2022. We expect more than 1,000 visitors that day. It'll be a great opportunity to kick the tires, meet great people, and really get a sense of Wheaton College as a great college destination for you. Thank you so much for spending the evening with us. We look forward to working with you over the course of the next several weeks as you make this exciting decision. Have a good night.